Welcome to Kansas Ag Report with your host, Brian Holman.
Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Brian Holman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag Feature, we talk with Mike Shear from AgRisk Solutions. And inside Kansas Ag, Kansas Soybean talks yield contest, and KDA talks about water conservation areas. And in News You Need to Know, we get our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association, look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org.
AgRisk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, AgRisk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. USDA reports sales from organic farms in the U.S. totaled nearly $5.5 billion in 2014, reflecting a 72% increase since 2008. NASS says that there were 14,000 organic farms covering 3.67 million acres in the country last year. California is a leading organic producing state with sales of $2.2 billion in 2014. Milk was the most valuable organic product sold by farms last year, totaling $1.1 billion. There were 228,000 organic milk cows on 2,184 farms in the U.S. at the end of 2014. A Taiwanese delegation in Washington, D.C. this week will sign a letter of intent with the U.S. Grain Council committing to purchase 5 million metric tons of U.S. corn and 500,000 metric ton of U.S. corn byproduct valued at $1.3 billion by 2017 as part of the Taiwanese Agricultural Goodwill Mission. Taiwan is an important buyer of U.S. agricultural products, especially U.S. corn. For the 2014-15 marketing year, Taiwan was the 6th largest market for U.S. corn, 3rd largest market for U.S. barley, and a top buyer of U.S. DDGs. U.S. farmers are growing fewer types of crops compared to 34 years ago. A large-scale study by Kansas State University, North Dakota State University, and the USDA compares U.S. Census of agricultural data from 1978 through 2012 across the 48 continuous states. The report says that the trend toward more corn and soybean production started in 1988 and was driven by new varieties of corn and soybeans with cold and disease tolerance, allowing the crop to be grown in more areas. And in local news, sugarcane aphids moved into Kansas last year and despite their name appear to have developed an appetite for the sorghum crop. The aphid population now winters in Texas and are passively swept northward when the weather warms, said Kansas State University entomologist Sarah Zukoff. The pest can reduce crop yields and excrete a sticky substance called honeydew, which is left on the plant's leaves, stems, and heads. This year, they have been found in 36 counties, as far north as Cloud County and as far west as Haskell County. Kansas feedlots with capacities of 1,000 or more head contain 1.95 million cattle on feed on September 1st, according to the USDA's National Agricultural Statistics Service. This inventory was unchanged from last year. Placements during August totaled 370,000 head, down 10% from 2014. Fed cattle marketings for the month of August totaled 340,000 head, down 1% from last year. Other disappearances during August totaled 10,000 head, down 5,000 head from last year. In an effort to help Kansas preserve our water resources, the Department of Agriculture continues to work to provide flexible water management tools like the new water conservation areas to encourage reduced water usage while maintaining productive agricultural output. Kansas Secretary of Agriculture Jackie McClaskey encourages water users to consider developing and implementing a WCA to further improve water conservation efforts. Signed into law in April, WCAs are a simple and flexible tool to help extend the useful life of all water sources in the state. Go to agriculture.ks.gov/WCA for more information. Up next in our Ag Feature, we will talk with Mike Shear from AgriSolutions. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. Please stay tuned.
This segment brought to you by Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. GrassandGrain.com.
A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in Southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue. Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Dick Edwards, 2 miles east of the town center mall on Highway 24.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Pope, here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Dick Edwards, 2 miles east of the town center mall on Highway 24.
Thanks for staying with us. We're joined by Mike Shear today, and we're in Atchison, Kansas at the AgriSolutions office. Mike, coming into the fall, wheat's kind of taking a beating like everything else. Corn and beans down. They're dragging wheat along with it, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's going to affect crop insurance coverage on wheat for the 2016 crop year. It looks right now like our wheat base prices are about 17% lower than they were last year in Kansas. So that's going to be a 17% reduction essentially in your dollars of coverage, all other things being equal. So, that might lead a producer to want to reevaluate maybe their coverage levels, or at least keep in mind that you're not going to have near as many dollars coverage as we were used to last year and certainly years before that. So that's something to consider.
Well, not only that, potentially a wetter fall, we could also get beans out late, and if we're double cropping into that field, we've got another issue there.
Exactly, yeah. Delayed planting's probably going to lead to delayed harvest overall, and like you said there, from what I've been hearing we're looking at possibly a wetter fall as well. So that always creates some concerns in terms of getting that wheat crop in the ground. So I would just encourage producers to keep in mind that if they're unable to get as much wheat planted as they intended, and they have crop insurance coverage, that they could be eligible for preventive planting claims. So keep in touch with your agent, and if you were intending to plant a certain amount of wheat and don't get it in due to excess moisture, let them know, get a claim submitted, and if you qualify, could be looking at preventive planting claims. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully harvest goes smooth, wheat planting goes smooth, and we're not dealing with that. But it's something to keep in mind that often gets overlooked.
And the new yield exclusion option, it's kind of a fairly new program.
Absolutely, yeah. So yield exclusion is an option that was a part of the 2014 Farm Bill. It came out last year, was available on corn, grain, sorghum, and soybeans for last crop year, but it wasn't available on wheat. But it will be available on wheat for this 2016 crop year. So producers have up until September 30th to elect that option. What it does is it allows the insured to exclude from their yield history any crop year, any yield on a year in which the county yield for that year was lower than 50% of the previous 10-year county average, which is really confusing. But essentially each county has a list of years that are eligible for exclusion, okay? And so that varies a lot across the state of Kansas, anywhere from some counties that don't have any wheat years that were eligible to some that have up to 6 or 8 years that are eligible. So it's something that a producer really has to look at, see how it's going to affect their policy. But what it's going to do at the end of the day is increase your average yield and increase those guarantees. So there is a cost associated with it depending on how much it increases. And one thing I'll say is, we hear different things throughout different areas from producers, from agents, from insurance companies about things like this. And it's not uncommon for us to hear that people aren't using this option because it's too expensive. That additional cost is too much. But I would encourage producers very much to look at it a little differently from that. Almost every scenario that we've looked at, it very much makes sense. Now, it may mean that it makes sense for you to lower your coverage level once you've added this option to increase those yields, and still end up getting either the same coverage for cheaper premium or more coverage for the same premium. So it really needs to be looked at a little deeper than just, if I add it, it's going to cost me an extra $5 an acre.
So this year we want to spend a little extra time with our crop insurance
I would say
guys.
Definitely, yes, to evaluate this new option as well as different things that have changed in the marketplace, yes.
Well, we want to remind everybody, ag-risk-solutions.com is where you can get all the information about the guys at Ag-Risk Solutions. Watching Kansas Ag Report, please stay tuned.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life. Farmers Insurance, your best protection against the unexpected. Call Agent Dan Key at 785-408-5459. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Blue River Traders, the finest selection of Western-style furniture for your home. BlueRiverTraders.com.
Today we're joined by Mike Shear, and we're in Atchison, Kansas at Ag-Risk Solutions. And Mike, it's good to catch up with you. We get to see you about once a quarter. So
yeah, good to be here, Brian.
It's always nice to come up to Atchison and catch up with you. Winter had some hope as far as, having a little bit of moisture to plant into. Spring got a lot of moisture.
Yes.
But now we look at the markets, and the markets are down, way down. I mean, we're talking maybe below production cost.
Exactly, yeah, pretty wild year, certainly around here. So, like I said, excessive wet spring, dealt with preventive planting issues that we just almost never deal with around here, certainly in the spring at least. So we ended up having some customers that didn't get primarily all their soybeans planted, ranged anywhere from people got everything planted to some that got almost nothing planted. So had to deal with that, something kind of unusual this year, but we're kind of finishing up getting all those preventive planting claims paid up for the most part, and now kind of looking towards harvest, which I would say, given the way crops looked a few months ago, harvest looks pretty optimistic. So compared to how bad things were earlier. So, but like you said, with all that in mind, we've certainly driven prices lower. So on the crop insurance side, of course, we start to think about issues like revenue claims. So as of right now, corn and soybean and grain sorghum prices are all just about 10% lower than the base prices that we set back in the spring. So what that does essentially for producers carrying revenue protection is increases those yield guarantees about 10% as well.
As farmers watch the soybean crop mature, they should start thinking about the annual Kansas Soybean Yield and Value Contests. Entries must be postmarked no later than December 1. A Kansas State University Extension faculty member or designee must witness the harvest. Designees may be anyone not involved with the farm enterprise. Contestants should notify their Extension county offices of when harvest is to begin as early as possible. Thanks to the Kansas Soybean Commission, the highest dry land and irrigated yields in the contest each will receive a $1,000 award. The overall winners could earn an additional $1,000 for achieving 100 bushels per acre. In each district, first place will win $300, second will earn $200, and third will receive $100. The No-Till on the Plains organization will supply additional awards in the no-till categories. Managed by the Kansas Soybean Association, the contests are free to all Kansas farmers. They may enter the value contest, which evaluates protein and oil contents, without entering the yield contest, and vice versa. The complete rules are available at kansassoybeans.org/contests on the web and in K-State Extension offices across the state. Winners will receive their plaques, certificates, and monetary awards during the Kansas Soybean Expo, January 6, 2016, in Topeka.
In Kansas, the largest industry and economic driver is agriculture, and in order to continue to produce bountiful crops and raise healthy animals, our state's farmers and ranchers depend on an abundant and reliable water supply. Central to the state's water vision is providing our state water users with flexible, voluntary tools to better manage and conserve our state's precious water resources. A new tool in our toolbox is water conservation areas. WCAs are 100% voluntary and are developed through a streamlined process. They provide additional flexibility for water users to better manage their water rights, including creating multi-year allocations, allowing the movement of allocations between enrolled water rights, or allowing the use of water for new uses. WCAs are different than other water conservation tools in Kansas, and it's important for water users to understand those differences and how a WCA could help them better manage their water. That is why the Kansas Department of Agriculture is working with our partners across the state to help water users fully understand this new tool. We've also developed a page on our website at www.agriculture.ks.gov/WCA to help answer questions. Conserving water resources and extending the usable lifetime of the Ogallala Aquifer is vital to our state's economic well-being and our agricultural way of life. If we do nothing, much of that resource will be gone in less than 50 years. WCAs are one tool users can use to help be a part of the water solution in Kansas.
This segment brought to you by Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in Southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue. Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Impact Satellite, your local authorized DirecTV dealer. Impact Satellite at 785-554-5974.
All the time. Monthly payments of $289, $189, or even $89. How is this done, you ask? Well, with large down payments, low mileage leases, and you must qualify for all rebates offered. Can we do this? Yes, we can. But we'd prefer to give you the straight call, where we tell you all the information up front, and you make the decision on what vehicle and payment you want. You won't need bifocals to read the fine print here. Dick Edwards, serving the Manhattan, Fort Riley, and Junction City areas for over 30 years.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
You hear it all the time. Monthly payments of $289, $189, or even $89. How is this done, you ask? Well, with large down payments, low mileage leases, and you must qualify for all rebates offered. Can we do this?
Yes, we can.
But we prefer to give you the straight call, where we tell you all the information up front, and you make the decision on what vehicle and payment you want. You won't need bifocals to read the fine print here. Dick Edwards, serving the Manhattan, Fort Riley, and Junction City areas for over 30 years.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Beef Industry University at the KLA Convention, which will be held December 2nd through the 4th in Wichita, will highlight how changes in antibiotic regulations will affect livestock producers and offer insight into how KLA and its members can help carry out the beef industry's new long-range plan. Kansas State University veterinarian Dan Thompson will explain the new Veterinary Feed Directive rule during Beef Industry University. Under the rule, antibiotics considered medically important to human health by the Food and Drug Administration no longer will be available over the counter for use in food animals as of January 1st, 2017. Buying medicated feed or milk replacer containing antibiotics in this category will require veterinary oversight and approval. Kansas cattle feeders John Butler of Manhattan and Jerry Bone from Pratt will talk about the roles of individuals and organizations in reaching the industry's goal of increasing the wholesale beef demand index by 2% annually from 2016 through 2020. Butler, Chief Executive Officer for the Beef Marketing Group, and Bone, General Manager of Pratt Feeders, served on a special 16-person national task force assigned to make recommendations for the 5-year plan. For rooming information for the KLA Convention, visit www.kla.org. Registration information and a schedule will be available in the coming weeks.
Good morning. I'm Derek Hermish with Paragon Ag. When the U.S. raises a crop, harvest pressure is a hard rock to crawl out from under if you're a grain bull. We've had episodes this year that gave bulls reason to get excited with the excessively wet conditions through Illinois and Indiana that certainly reduced their yield potential when you compare it to the last couple of years. However, too much rain is always better than not enough, and even the troubled spots are going to make something, while back in the western and northern parts of the Corn Belt, we've had good weather for good production as a whole. We may not be dealing with as big a crop as last year, but it's probably not going to be short enough to avoid the seasonal effects of harvest pressure on the market. In my personal opinion, a producer should consider that anything north of $4 for the December corn futures price ought to be taken advantage of if you're somebody that needs to make a sale between now and the end of the year for cash flow purposes or to avoid paying extra storage costs. Seasonal harvest pressure won't last forever, but if you don't have bin space for all your corn, you shouldn't figure on storing it at the elevator forever either. And if you've waited till now to make any marketing decisions, you should consider giving us a call at Paragon at 888-452-8751. I'm Derek Hermish. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org. Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope you'll join us each week for more news and information about agriculture in the state of Kansas. I'm Brian Holman, and thanks for watching.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.